Welcome back, everybody. It's Roll20 presents The Burning Wheel. We are spending resource points. We are establishing houses. There's a lot of wait, let's come up with cool names for houses. I'm really excited. You're giving me some good ones.
I'm super.
I'm thinking, the more common the animal, the more the bigger the house, right?
Yeah, because it's got a lot of sub options.
Yeah,
right?
house.
So there's a lot of.
Yeah, House Canis, the house of the dog. There's tons of them, right? And same with
same
House
for
Felidae. Yeah,
because you end up with House Vulpes and House. What else?
Yeah, lots and lots of smaller options.
Tons of sub options.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So did you figure out, Blue Jay, what you wanna spend your resource points on? Are you squared away?
No, I don't know how to spend 11 points. It's
relationships.
such a weird number.
Buy more relationships. Yep. They're
okay.
free circles. They can be because your character doesn't exist in a vacuum. Your character doesn't know one person, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. But I have to make those people up now. I have to know who they are.
Just make up useful people, like cool people at court that you would want to know, like maybe a messenger who helps arrange your secret rendezvous or something.
Or like a relative.
You could buy a knife.
I like the thing is if you're a noble,
I have bought a knife. Okay?
If you're a noble and your whole jam is social manipulation, buy people who your character is already manipulated into being your friends, right? These are circles rolls you will not have to make later. And if they're family, you can buy 2 or 3 of them easy.
Right. What about House Lupus?
It's never Lupus. Lupus is not responsible.
House Lupus, I get it. Okay.
The Wolf House is my house out in the dark woods. Okay.
Whose house? Wolf's house.
Honestly, I feel like there are certain animals that are so deep in the druidic tradition that no one fucks with naming their house after.
Well, no, or they're the God, I can never remember his name, and I always love it using it in context, but I can never remember it. The Norwegian, prime minister who, when Hitler showed up, was like, "Hey, buddy, let's be friends." Oh, what's the name of that? Oh yeah, dude?
They're the traitorous.
Yeah, the pagans who when the kings showed up in their village, they were like, yes, you can have all of our land, where it's Quisling, that's what it is, where it was some tribal leader who's like, cool, yes, put a crown on my head, make me have a house, and you can have all of my stuff. Yeah, those guys.
But I feel like everyone in the witchy culture would have just cursed the shit out of those people.
Oh yeah, they're a cursed house for sure.
Okay, that
they're doomed. They're so doomed.
Yeah, totally. They're a doomed house for sure, but they're still around, right? They have this corporeal power, but yeah, theirs is a house of doom.
They're generation after generation.
Whoa! Don't talk shit about the House of Doom. Okay.
Yeah, their leader wears a metal suit and an iron mask and a great green cloak. He's a mighty sorcerer.
What about someone was talking about not a bodyguard per se, but pretty much a bodyguard,
like a henchman,
who's the guy that helps to run your estate?
A major domo,
seneschal.
So yeah, bodyguards are their own thing. They just cost 10 points. If you want a bodyguard, bam, 10 points, and they get.
What if I have someone who is related to me that is my a lesser relative, other family relationships, who helps, is my go-to
your aid,
my aid, yeah. Go-to person to help me out with random shit.
Since we've established in this setting that you're probably the most important Corvidae in town. Buying another member of House Corvidae is a 5-point base.
Yeah.
Because they're not as important as you, and you're significant or important to the setting.
So you could buy 2.
So you could buy 2 of them. And then if they're related directly to you, if it's this is my sister, my younger sister, then she costs me 3 points by default.
Unless I hate her.
Then she would cost you 1 point. You want a hated younger sister? 1 point.
Even cheaper.
You have a hated younger sister and 2 other siblings.
Yeah.
So I don't even have any siblings.
The thing is, you can have other family relationships at -1 point for cousins, aunts, etc. So if they are members of your house,
okay,
then you're good to go.
From chat, my younger, hotter sister who I hate.
Yeah, it's true.
No.
Well, so that brings up the question: is your character Were you born in? We need a name for this. We need a name for this city.
Yeah,
but
we do.
That's on my homework list. I need a name for the king. I need to know what house he's from. I need to know the name of this place so we can start referring to it as this place.
All of these things I would also like to know.
Yeah, totally. Were you born to this? Like, House Corvidae is doing great elsewhere. Somewhere else, they're a 40-point. They're like a huge deal. There's probably a Corvidae queen on a throne in some other kingdom, but not here.
Are the Corvidae well known for like a lot of female leadership? Because it seems like we're leaning that way. I don't know. We've talked a lot about female.
I mean,
members.
this is the synecdoche.
This is just a general
it's the synecdoche or the metonymy, I can never remember which, of PCs versus setting when you're doing role-playing game stuff, where a character becomes emblematic of the things that they are a part of. This is the Wilbur Higgins is a redneck, so he comes from a planet of rednecks thing, where you extrapolate out the behaviors and culture of a person because they're the example of it. But that's your call, Blue Jay. But you can figure that out. But
I feel like I like the idea of like it maybe being like a stereotype or whatever of the House of Corvids, that their women are, you know, like fierce and manipulative.
So there's like a kind of a Black Widow like rumor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like,
I mean, so if you
just to say that they're just smart and competent.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. Yeah. We have to remember that, things like reputation, and we will talk a lot about this when we get to cultural traits. Everything that we're doing, the point of view we take is the status quo, right? So yes, if you have a reputation as being, kind of a Black Widow, then it's probably because of those things, because
it's probably because I killed my husband.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it could be, but we can work that out. So I don't know. I mean, if that's the case, if you got married and then your husband died, did your husband have siblings that now hate you? Right?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
My dead husband's brother, who maybe like hates me and thinks this is where we get all Hamlet, right? Where you're like, who is your Hamlet?
My dead husband's brother who hates me, and also I try and seduce him so that he doesn't figure stuff out.
Right. You got a lot of irons in various fires.
There's got a lot of irons in the fire.
A lot of plates
He both
spinning.
hates you but lusts after you.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so this weird like revenge fuck desire.
It's so good.
God, she's so hot and powerful, but I think she killed my brother. I didn't really like him anyway, but
God.
Yeah, right.
He's like super torn up.
Okay,
he has all these, like,
well, and what's great is that we're beginning.
If I make my previous husband's family 10 RP level of important, and then he is like hateful, and would my husband's brother be other family relationships?
Yes, I think so. I think that qualifies. Yeah.
I could also just make it like hateful and romantic, but then I'd have like one random.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: because they are nobles, he can be hateful, romantic, and get the -1 for peripheral relation because he's your husband's brother.
Okay. Okay.
And he hates you. And it could be, I mean, if
he hates you.
If you're sleeping with each other in secret, that's also forbidden. We haven't talked about what like divorce law looks like. But if you want it to be even less expensive.
Okay. So 10 points. -1 for other family, so that's 9. -2 for romantic, so that's 7.
Yep.
Forbidden is 6, and then hateful is 4.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
I like this. This guy is already one of the most interesting NPCs because he's so conflicted, right? He's just like, like he's pretty sure
so a tortured nobleman.
He's pretty sure you killed his brother with poison, but he lusts after you, and in secret, and
I made him do all that.
Adam will love playing this character.
Yeah,
he gets to both plot your death and flirt with you.
Yeah, poor fool. Yeah.
Oh, bummer. Okay, so if I have 3 RP left, so then I could buy like another minor character that has some complications.
You could buy a 5-point character with a small complication. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll do that then. I'll figure that person out.
Yes, more relationships is more fun for all of us because then that's cool NPCs I can bring into the game. Or not only can, am obligated to.
Must. But thou must.
Yeah, but thou must. Exactly. All right, let's talk about our jester. We've established the status quo. Let's talk about the fly in the ointment.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely the odd one out. Definitely the odd one, that's for sure. But so I have a couple of questions that I need to ask, and one of those questions is, what's the status of a slave in this society? That's like really important
because
to me.
buying
also Blue Jay, I need to ask you. You sold me to this other guy, right?
I didn't sell you.
You arranged
per se.
Right. So we talked about this a little bit in your past, the movement. Can you go through your life past again real quick?
I can. I am a born slave, then a harem slave, then a poisoner, and then a court jester.
Okay. So at some point you learned how to poison and then became not a slave.
What I think it was I was approached with the opportunity to not be a slave anymore and just be an employee of someone else, so to speak, in a nicer position.
How long
I had to figure out how to remove that person that I was told to remove, and poison was the easiest way to do it.
So what's fun about this is we can track when this happened. So when did you become how many years ago did you become a poisoner?
10.
Okay, so how old, Blue Jay, how old was your character 10 years ago?
My character was 19.
And what life path were you in then?
10 years ago. Let me just look at it.
I think it was 10 years.
I was just starting as a courtier.
Right. So
yeah, it was 10.
Perfect.
If you're tied in there, the thing that moved you into the court was maybe the person that was in your way owned Elf's character. And so the two of you moved into your new lives around the same time.
So Elf, your character became a poisoner. See, my thing is like, I don't know if I interacted with Elf's character right at the moment when she became a poisoner. My thought was that I used her because she knew how to poison.
How long were you a poisoner?
5 years.
That's a long time. So you had poisoned more people before that.
There were probably a lot of non-lethal poisonings. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the food was bad, or because I didn't like you, or whatever.
So you've been really sickly lately, and
that kind of shit.
Well, because my thing is like, are we saying that I transitioned from courtier to lady like when I got married?
I think so. Like I feel like that's a nice clear.
That was 5 years ago.
Perfect. So that was the exchange happened at the same time. You moved from courtier to lady at the same time that Elf's character went from poisoner to jester.
Yeah. So it makes sense that right around the same time I got married, I probably only had one kid then. Mm-hmm. Or the kid's not really my husband's kid, but
right.
So and then my husband just mysteriously died.
Yeah, and then he died. It's a tragedy.
And now I'm a lady, and I have an heir, so I get to stay a lady. But
now you don't have. Are you gonna? You should spend. I feel like if you're not sure, spend your resource points on your kid.
On my kid, but I don't want to.
Yeah,
make your kid a relationship. Yeah. Otherwise, they're in my hands, right? Otherwise,
okay.
I can just be like, cool, that's fine. Someone else is raising your kid.
I mean, that was the whole point. Is that
right? Like, but you don't have. The thing is, right now, you have no relationship with your child, even though you've just said that they're important to you as an heir, right?
I need them to maintain control of my estate.
Yes.
Okay, so then it would be could it be a minor role immediate family?
Yes, because they're a kid. Yep.
Okay, that sounds good. That's easy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's get back to Elf's character. So talk about slavery. So the fact that you were born a slave implies institutionalized
there is a caste of slaves.
Institutionalized systemic slavery exists at some place in the world. Now the question was, were you a slave somewhere that we consider to be like? Is slavery a good and rightly thing in this world?
Was I a slave in a civil place?
Or were you a slave in like Stygia, right? Where slavery, these evil, sallow-faced sorcerers keep slaves, and you were taken away from that place.
I mean, I'd like to posit that God decides where in society that we're born. He knows where all the angels are. He knows where all the people are. Sometimes you get born a slave, and that's fine because everybody above you was meant to be above you, just like the lords and ladies are meant to be above you.
Right.
And then God is above everyone.
So that's why I'm broken.
That's that's the easy answer. The easy answer is that God has ordained a great chain of being, and we extend that down further than our history of Western European society.
I think maybe we should, because that keeps me within this sort of setting that we're creating.
So some people are just born into slavery, and
people who have debts that can't be repaid, and then there's generational debt, and then there's and it goes on.
Okay, sure, right. Okay. So so slavery is just a thing. I imagine that some houses are big into it, right? Some houses are definitely we've got some slavery operations going. We like slaves. They have helped us build the cities, right? But I feel like they would need to have access to, this would be a house that is closer to a place where they go to get slaves. And they're probably hella pro crusade, right? These are a very pious house who's sent their warriors to go into Stygia, and we take Stygians as slaves because they deserve it, because they're heretics. Right?
Armed with the traditional.
I mean that raises the question: am I Stygian?
I mean that's a cultural thing we can work out. But you were born a slave, so you could be the child of several generations of slaves.
Yeah.
But you were not in.
Slave than Stygian or anything else, right? Because you were born into slavery.
Yeah, you were not put in chains. You were born in them. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying, for conspicuous, being of a different culture helps me out. Side note.
Yeah.
Side note.
Yeah, we can work that out when we do cultural traits for sure.
I mean, if you were born a slave and the slave population is very diverse, you're just some.
Honestly, yeah, I don't envision the slavery in this setting predominantly to be ethnically motivated.
No, I agree.
I don't think that slavery happened because we discovered another kingdom that we could go and take people from. I think.
Yeah, and I think it is more about your dues, and some of those dues are very high. You know what I mean? It's less about we found a group of people that we can entirely enslave. That's not really the jam. That's
people have to give up their kids into slavery to pay debts and shit.
Yeah. Okay.
But there are also people who are captured or whatever.
There's lots of ways to become a permanent servant of someone more powerful than you.
So, resources. Let's talk about that, because that's mechanically what we were talking about before.
Yeah. Let's talk about what you're spending your resources
on. And I just want to align with everybody else as to where I'm at in this development here.
Yeah.
So I took clothes, shoes, a 15-point relationship with the king.
Okay.
And poisons toolkit. That's it.
Okay. All right.
And I have 2 points left over, but I don't know what to do with them. So
buy a cheap relationship.
Yeah, or a personal effect, something like that.
Did you buy? You say you bought a knife?
I wanted to, but then I went and looked at the prices, and it's actually points. 3.
I thought it was complicate your relationship with the king a little bit more.
So okay, let's talk about the 15-point relationship with the king. Currently is just uncomplicated and default. Right?
Yeah.
Just complicate it.
Just complicate it with
that's harder for her to do than it is.
I can't just complicate it, because as soon as I make it a rivalry, I die.
And he's not the king hates you. It can't be.
It can't be forbidden because you are the king's jester, and if that was forbidden,
then it's a very hard. You're not related to him. I don't imagine he loves you. So
it could be hateful, though. It could be hateful.
Yeah, hateful is rivals, hateful, extremely unfriendly. I mean, it's up to you.
That is a balance of power that I'm not willing to give Adam.
I like you and the king having a friendly relationship.
My idea of my relationship with the king is the reason I'm so safe being such an asshole is because the king has my back. The king thinks I'm funny.
Well, he likes it. He likes it when you make fun of the other nobles, and when you make fun of him because he's oh, you're so useful and funny. He can shake it off. And because it's a relationship you're buying, you're not just his property or his employee. There is actually some kind of meaningful relationship there. Now, he wouldn't be able to acknowledge that you're friends.
Maybe you never wear shoes.
Here's the other thing. The game, both in the core book and in the codex, suggests not to be particularly stingy about 1 point's worth of stuff. So if you're 1 point off,
assuming I've stashed a kitchen knife,
if you want a poor quality, if you want a poor quality knife, it's 3 points. There, you can have it.
Cool. I figured out my relationships. I figured it out.
Okay.
I have my son. I have my husband's brother, which we already talked about. I have the king, which we talked about, and my last one is I have a loosely related cousin who is the queen's maid and my informant.
Right. Okay. So she's related to you,
And
but
it makes
she's in
sense that
service.
there are
And she's
not maid. She's the queen's lady.
But
So-
is she of marriageable age, or is she too young? Because as soon as she gets to be, if she's a noble, and as soon as she gets to be old enough,
she's too young.
yeah, as soon as she gets to be old enough, she'll slip
She's
through
the
your
queen's
fingers.
lady. She's getting her her court life. Like the queen's lady is different from the queen's maid. She's the queen's lady.
Yeah.
So she just hangs out with her and talks with her, and they do sewing.
When it
circles.
comes down to it, she's gonna be the vector by which Elf poisons the queen.
I didn't say that.
With like a poison sewing needle that she accidentally pressed.
So I'm sorry, milady.
I have a question that's just like, it's aside from resources, but it's relevant to how I'm thinking about this character as we're going forward.
Mhm.
Am I still a slave? Like, did the king buy me from someone? Is that how it works?
So your property, and if the person who owns you died, you would be in their will and passed
like
along
to someone
their
else,
children. Yeah. So I don't know. You and Blue Jay work out. Like, did the king?
Because I kind of like the idea that I'm still owned by someone.
I mean, the thought that we had when we were establishing the way that our characters are fictionally related was that you, as poisoner, I said, okay, kill my husband, and I will get my lover, the king, to set you up with a job. So
the king bought or declared as a gift to Blue Jay's character. The king gave you your freedom, but also said
that you're not a slave anymore, but you have a real job. You're being paid as the jester. Like, you're not a slave. You were a slave when you were poisoner.
Yeah.
But our deal got you out of slavery.
Okay.
I like how, it's like, and we'll discover the semantic differences between being the king's court jester and owing favors to a powerful noblewoman and just straight up being a slave. We'll work that out.
It's different.
You're not a slave anymore, but you still can't say no.
You're not a slave anymore, but do everything I say or you probably die.
That's definitely.
I can't legally have you thrown in the moat, but I could probably trump up some.
But
reason.
I could just throw you in the dungeons and forget about you, and nobody would cry.
Yeah. I like it.
Like, you're here in this place because I said you could be, and when I decide otherwise, you're not here anymore.
Yeah, okay.
You're looking to get yourself poisoned. Blue Jay.
I like that. I didn't buy any kind of like place to live or anything, but I'm assuming that that's like at the castle someplace.
I mean,
it's
not technically. If you don't buy like rent or whatever. You live on the street, but I think that the king keeps you around, but you don't own or have any right to the place. Like, he could kick you out anytime.
I've just got a fucking pile of hay in a corner of a room somewhere.
Yeah.
A classic medieval thing is that the court jester is basically just like homeless, but lives in the castle.
Yeah, you sleep sometimes.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Also, Adam, something that I totally need to know at some point, not important right now, but I need to know the colors for the house,
right?
For the king's house,
of course. Yeah. So when we decide what house he is, then we'll let you know. I'm thinking probably like I'm leaning towards naming him naming his house not after an animal, but of like a. Because of the proximity to the woods, maybe like the House of Pine, like something like that.
Yeah,
so
like
it'd be
a
like
tree.
dark gray and green. I imagine that they acknowledge his house acknowledges their connection to the dark woods that lurk in the mountains beyond. Right?
Is this the House of Leaves?
I don't know. I gotta figure it out. I think it's a pine forest because we've talked about snow and ice. I feel like we're probably kind of like northeastern. Alpine. So alpine forest for sure. Yeah. Sweet. Cool. Okay, yeah. So you don't have a place to live, but you just kind of lay around.
I'm homeless within the castle, basically. Yeah. Find myself a sweet attic spot somewhere, like.
Yes, if we literally go with the House of Pine, he's of House Pinus, which I don't think I don't think I can handle that. There's another level above that I think is less.
Oh, House Pinus.
House Spruce.
No.
Yeah, we'll find another alpine tree.
Linus of Pinus.
House Fir.
exactly. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll find one that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of their symbol being a pine cone, though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like half of it bursting in flame, because that's how pine cones do their thing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a bit of a like this house. They don't have a lot of influence. Again, we'll work this out in the setting, but like, how did they manage to get the conclave called here at the edges of civilization?
Yeah, like they're not globally recognized as some
why did this not
badass
happen in
house.
the capital? Yeah.
Oh my
What
god,
demon
though,
did they
can
need to
like
deal with?
I just had an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Can my cousin, the lady, have been slipping the queen like birth control?
I mean, that's
So that she can't like
I mean,
provide heirs?
you gotta work that out with like skills and stuff. But she's not skilled at that. But I don't know. Maybe we know a witch who could help you with those kinds of things.
Maybe you know
Brew
a
a
poisoner as well who also can do shit like that.
I'm so excited. All right, so have you spent all your resource points? Elf, have you
Yeah,
got
that's
that sort of okay? So the last thing we need to do for resource stuff is figure out people's circle stats and their resources stats. So after spending resource points, you work out everything that you spent on property, reputations, and affiliations. Everybody get that number. Property, reputation, and affiliation, not relationships, spells, or gear. In this case, Dave, your things, they count as spells. I don't think they count towards generating your resources exponent.
Okay, so property does like finery and stuff. Does that count?
No, only literal property like homes.
Okay.
I think workshops count towards this.
Workshops count towards it, yeah. So
yeah,
I've figured my note, but
Okay, so it's 50 for me.
Everybody else got theirs?
Could you say the list again?
Sure. Property, reputations, and affiliations.
Right.
Wow, I literally have zero.
Yep.
That makes sense for you.
Yep.
Most characters who can't like own property are going to be at 0.
Dave, what about you?
I think 10.
Okay, so 0. Because the next thing we do is divide by 15
Oh god, math.
and then round down.
Okay. 3. Mine's 3. So that's my resources?
Yes. So 3 people have B0 for resources. One of them has B3.
I have B3 as well, just barely.
Nice.
Wow.
So resources, some characters are going to start with B0 resources. In order to advance this, you'll need help or a loan. You can't test 0 dice, so someone's got to give you one to start with, which makes sense. We have two people who are decently engaged in their own civilizations, and then 2 people who are weirdo outsiders with no money. It's perfect. Now, this doesn't represent like piles of gold. This represents your ability to get things that you want by expending credit or literal money.
Are we gonna figure out how like estates work later?
Yeah, we'll talk about the resource.
Yeah, you have to like maintain your estate.
So the
Yeah.
next thing we need to work out is your circles. So circles represents your sphere of influence in your community through your profession, class, or family. Everyone has it. It's tested in the game. Your circle's exponent starts at half of your will, rounded down.
Okay.
Minimum of 1, so it starts there. And if you spent 50 or more points on property and relationships, your base circles goes up by 1.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so Blue will get that, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, you'll get that one for sure.
So I have 4.
Yep. So circles. Now circles, you can be aggressive about circles, and this is mostly aimed at Elf and Blue Jay, because Dave, I know you and Andrew you've interacted with circles before. So circles is a way for your character to know people, to represent that. So in a lot of role playing games, like in Dungeons and Dragons, your characters are just like born into the world with no connection to anything else in it except themselves, right? They're just a wholly formed island. And they don't know anybody. There's no mechanical attachment to anything else in the world. In this game, it's assumed that the characters through their life paths have met people. They have connections. They know people. And when you want to call up someone that you already know, you can say, oh, I know this character. I'm going to roll circles to find them. You tell me about who they are. I give you a difficulty. You roll. And if you succeed, bam, there they are. So you can tell me, oh, I know someone who works for this guy, or oh, I know someone who hates this person.
Yeah, because everybody has a
So
person
this is
they
like
know
naming
who's
a
a tailor
contact.
or
yeah,
whatever.
but even stronger in the sense that like you you just tell me, and it can be not just, I know a person who does a job, but like the easiest circles roll is to say, I want to find someone who knows me, right? I just need someone who knows me. It doesn't matter what their job is. It doesn't matter. The less specific they are, the easier to be to find them. The more specific or more out of place they are, the harder. And you start with you have to look at your life paths. So like a noble probably won't know a barbarian. So you can work that up. And so you can do that to name people. And yes, Judd in chat has just pointed out my favorite example. If you have seen the film Empire Strikes Back, Han makes a circles roll to find Lando Calrissian. Lando did not exist in the game. Lando was not an NPC that existed prior to Han making that roll. However, Han hecked up that roll. If you fail, you can have one of two things happen. Either the person just they're not available to you, or more interestingly, your relationship with them is maybe more complicated than you think. They have a secret. They don't actually like you. I might actively be like, yes, that person does exist. But the last time you saw them, you did something bad to them. Let's figure out what that is. Do you want to go see them? And now they exist in the setting.
This is the you rolled 6 or less situation.
Yeah, this is the if you fail, they may still exist, and you can still go to them and convince them of things and have duel of wits with them and all of that. But the problem is that something they have a deal with the Empire you didn't know about.
They're not inclined to help you, or not inclined to help you.
Yeah, and what I do sometimes that's really fun is they don't know they're a liability, right? Like they want to help you, they love you, they think you're great, but someone is secretly spying on them, or they're friends with someone who's an enemy of yours, and they're going to tell them all the things that you know. So you may not know this, but if you fail, they still might get to exist. Yeah. And it's fun. The complication here is that people with corruption, I have a third option, and it's that you just attract weirdos. So they could be corrupt or screwed up or weird in some way, and they're just drawn to you because of your own corruption.
How does that affect it? Do you just go based off of how high our corruption is, or is it like a modifier?
No, it's just if you have corruption, it gives me another option that you attract the corrupted. Yeah, so if you go looking for another scholar, maybe they're a scholar of dark truths.
Maybe they're the Shab al-Hiri Roach.
Exactly. That's right. You walk in and they're shoving a bug into their mouth. Cool. So that's how Circles works. Circles is fun. It's a great part of the game. Don't be shy about using it. We've done physical tolerances. Mm-hmm. And so now...
I need to update you real quick.
Oh, yeah,
move on, because I didn't finish my resources.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You got to buy your relationship. So what did you decide?
I grabbed for myself just so it all adds up. Instead of property, I pay rent.
Okay.
I'm still deciding whether that's at a church place, but I think it is with my one relationship, which is my uncle, who is a minor, noble house lord in this country.
Okay, cool.
Because I want to be able to be present at court meetings. So
yeah. Well, you have ambitions for your character. So yeah, buying a relationship that lets you kind of scoop in there is a great call. Okay,
and,
so relationship. Now, do you envision this noble as being a member of a house related to whatever we decide House Pinus becomes, or Corvidae, or like a third option?
I mean, if you I had the thought that my character was schooled at a convent. So if you wanted your uncle or whatever to be in House Corvidae somewhere, that could make sense and give us a reason to talk to each other.
Yeah, I'm more than happy with that. It's hey, you're my
second cousin, half
removed.
Right. Okay. So Blue Jay, your character and Dave's character are related through some.
It's like what we talked about the houses. He's of House Corvidae. Where he fits in that is really obscure, probably.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think I have the house name though. Because
no. But you're just in the greater. You're another bird. You're a different.
My uncle's a minor, in the minor thing, but I don't think I'm even that, because
I mean,
imagine
if
my
he's your
parents-
uncle,
Well,
then-
so yeah, the base cost would be like it'd be 10 if he's a minor of the ruling house. It'd be 5 if he's a noble of House Corvidae that isn't that important.
Yes, it's I've done it as a 5-1, so it'll be day then.
Excellent.
I spent my last bit of stuff on a 7-point reputation, so a local one.
Okay. And what's your reputation?
My reputation is that I'm blessed by the angels.
Nice. Yeah, totally. So you're like there are people who believe that you are on your way to sainthood, right? That they're like, yeah. And I think someone asked a while ago in chat that does this church have saints? It totally does. And they're usually the people that are gifted, right? They're usually people who can perform miracles that affect not just the faithful, right? And so this is where like art magic might come in that setting, that there are several saints, and yeah, there are a few other scholars, and you have this minor reputation as like, oh, I hear he could turn, water into wine, that kind of thing. There are these rumors about you that have given you this kind of saintly reputation. Yeah, close to the angels. I like that.
Because actual magic wasn't super common before God died.
I mean, it's still. I think it still isn't. There are
people who could do it would be set apart.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, like with our church, you have to die first, and then have like people approve of your saintly nature. There are very, very few. I think there are none. There are no like living saints. But I don't know. God's dead now, so whatever.
Yeah, and I think I've spent quite a while cultivating this reputation. It's only small now, but yeah, I read a bunch of these rumors myself because, like we say, I have goals, I have aspirations. I'm using my uncle to like get in on the things, and then my reputation for maybe a bigger house wants to pick me up as a spiritual advisor or a
right. Well, you're gonna end up being proof that God still has power, right? Because you can be like, check it out, I can still make magic happen. I'm still chosen by the angels.
Yeah, they don't need to know that they're not faith-based miracles, they're just magic.
Yeah, definitely 100%. God's fine. It's all good.
Well, I love that. Yeah, you have lots of different venues for performing miraculous acts.
In fact, the only thing God gives me is the power to hypnotize people, to make them believe that I'm doing miracles.
Some sweet Thulsa Doom shit going on there. I love it. Yeah, rad. So your faith in a dead god, plus your ability to conjure up angels, plus the fact that you're just naturally magically inclined, puts you in a position to manipulate the various facets of the world. Fantastic. Some messed up shit. I'm excited. So we're gonna take on beliefs and instincts, and I think we should it's a little early, but let's take a quick break here so we can devote the whole next section to doing beliefs and instincts, because they're the important bit. That's where we take all of this stuff and we tie it together, and we give me things to work on. And we'll do cultural traits in that bit too. So we'll start with that and then go into beliefs and instincts. Wicked. All right, let's take a break here. Stick around. We'll be right back with beliefs and instincts.